On Lingfu Mountain, in front of the mountain gate of Qingyun Peak, the young man's desolate voice sounded, "Master, I'm unfilial. I will go down the mountain today to inherit the family business. I hope you take care of yourself." Inside the door, Shen Anzai listened, his heart filled with bitterness. He didn't even have the strength to go out and take a look. Shen Anzai had 穿越, translated as traveled through to this world. He originally thought he could be a dominant figure, but he was born with a useless body and blocked meridians. Moreover, he was already in his 30s when he 穿越, translated as traveled through here, and there was no chance to reverse his destiny. More than 10 years ago, after a great battle on Qingyun Peak, he was the only one left as the peak master. Now, even his only disciple Murong Chang was about to leave. Shen Anzai roared out of the window, "God, did you bring me here to torture me? Others who traveled through time can split mountains and earth, but I struggle even to pull out weeds and shoot birds. Stuck here as the peak master of this tiny mountain, I still get looked down upon." The angrier he got, the louder he shouted, "Even if I don't have the destiny to rule the world, couldn't you at least arrange for me to have 8 or 10 fair-skinned and beautiful wives? Then I could live a happy life. I'm so frustrated, I don't want to live anymore. Just strike me dead with a bolt of lightning." Boom! A bolt of lightning flashed outside the window. Shen Anzai was so startled that he instinctively dove under the table. After waiting for a while and seeing no further movement outside, he started grumbling to himself, "Damn it. I asked you to arrange some wives for me, but you ignored me. Yet, when it comes to sending down lightning, you're pretty quick. Are you just picking on me, a good-natured person?" Just as Shen Anzai was feeling sad and indignant, there came the sound of bang, bang, bang of cowbells outside the door, followed by footsteps gradually fading away. Sigh, Shen Anzai let out a sigh, a hint of regret in his heart. Although his disciple, Murong Qian, wasn't very talented, he was still respectful to Shen Anzai as his master. Now that he was leaving, there wouldn't even be anyone to pour Shen Anzai a cup of tea. Ding! It had been detected that the host is about to sever the master-apprentice relationship with his disciple. The cute disciple cultivation system is activated. Shen Anzai was stunned. Cute disciple cultivation. He was instantly overjoyed. Sure enough, God had eyes and his golden finger had arrived. How do I use this system? Can it help me break through my cultivation realm? He eagerly asked in his mind. No, this system is designed to help the host cultivate disciples. You can obtain item rewards by completing tasks and increasing your disciples' admiration value. The voice of the system came. Can the item rewards help me break through? Shen Anzai asked again. You're so cute, host, but still no. Shen Anzai's face darkened. If it can't help me break through, what's the use? Mission release. Persuade Murong Qian to stay. Upon successful completion of the mission, the host will receive a skill card package XE, a skill inheritance card XE, and a lottery chance XE if the mission fails. What will happen if the mission fails? Don't tell me I'll be erased. Shen Anzai's heart tightened. Wrong. If the mission fails, the system will force the host to practice the evil, resisting sword technique. Whoosh! Shen Anzai only felt a chill down there. With a start, he immediately rushed out of the door. The family jewels are a symbol of a man. If I lose them, am I still a man? Although I can't break through my cultivation level, that skill card should be somewhat useful. Worst comes to worst, I'll just save up more powerful skill cards in the future and become a master of cards. On the mountain path, Murong Qian, who was carrying big and small bags on his back, was startled and looked back. There he saw his master, lifting the hem of his robe, hurriedly chasing after him. His expression was quite different from the usual desolation and dejection. "Master, what's going on?" Murong Qian asked in confusion. Shen Anzai took a deep breath, winked and tried to squeeze out some tears, putting on a heartbroken look. "Disciple, are you really going to abandon your master and go down the mountain alone? If you leave, what will become of your master? How could you have the heart to leave me alone in this mountain to spend my remaining years in solitude?" Murong Qian lowered his head and said firmly, "Master, don't worry. After I go down the mountain, I'll ask my family to send 10 maids up the mountain. I definitely won't leave you alone." Shen Anzai paused and subconsciously asked, "Are the maids good looking?" "Of course they are as beautiful as flowers and have fair complexions." Listening to Murong Qian's words, although Shen Anzai was intrigued, he still came to his senses. He coughed to interrupt and, putting on a solemn look, said earnestly, Your master doesn't want any maids. All I want is for you to stay on the mountain." Murong Qian raised his eyebrows, took a step back, covered his chest, and his expression was a bit strange. Not wanting maids but wanting him. What kind of crazy thought is this? Master, I am grateful to you for your 2 years of teachings and nurturing, but my decision is made. Please don't try to persuade me to stay, Master. Mirang Chuan still shook his head, his determination to leave unwavering. Shenanzai frowned. Must you really go? Yes, can you stay for the sake of your master? Mirang Chuan looked at the middle-aged man with slightly frosted temples in front of him, a hint of suspicion in his heart. Why is master so different today? Normally, master rarely went out and seldom talked to him. He just casually gave him some body-tempering books to figure out on his own and hardly ever cared about him. Hearing that he was about to leave today, could it be that the shock was too great and master's mind is not normal? I joined Lingfu Mountain to cultivate, but in these 2 years, my cultivation level. Mirang Chuan's eyes were filled with desolation as he felt his own cultivation realm, which was only at the mid-body tempering stage. Don't be hasty about your cultivation. Look at me, I'm almost 40, and I'm only at the late body tempering stage, Shenanzai persuaded earnestly. However, Mirang Chuan looked even more dejected. To be honest, 2 years ago, came to the mountain to break off the engagement. Out of anger, I made a 3-year agreement with her. Shenanzai was stunned. A 3-year agreement with his. He hadn't really gotten to know his disciple well during this time. Who would have thought there was such a story? But this 3-year agreement, why does it feel a bit familiar? Master, I know I don't have much talent. I definitely won't be a match for that Tianzhi translated as genius girl. The 3-year agreement is just a joke, Mirang Chuan said bitterly, his eyes filled with disappointment. When he was young and full of bravado, he made a 3-year agreement. Unexpectedly, 2 years have passed, and he is still only at the body tempering realm. Even if he goes as promised in a year, he will just be laughed at. What nonsense, my disciple is no less than anyone else. A deep voice came. Mirang Chuan looked up in surprise. Shenanzai put his hands behind his back. The warm sun was just rising behind him, and his eyes were deep and far-reaching. Never mind what kind of genius girl she is. My disciple, Shenanzai's disciple, is not someone who can be bullied. His eyes were like torches. He earnestly whispered, there is still 1 year left for that 3-year agreement. I can find a way to help you improve your cultivation, but if you give up on your own, you'll really just be a laughingstock. You know, fortune may change within 3 decades. Don't bully the poor young man. Upon hearing these words, the young man's dim eyes suddenly sparkled. He felt his heart beating faster, and his blood was faintly boiling. Yes, there is still more than half a year left. Should he really give up like this? Should he really swallow the humiliation of being jilted at the door? Don't bully the poor young man. Mirang Chuan clenched his fists. The desolation in his eyes disappeared completely, and his determination returned. Looking up, he said, Master, disciple won't leave, even if there is only 1 year left. Disciple will do his best to stay on Qingyun Peak and cultivate. Mission to persuade Mirang Chuan to stay completed. Reward. Skill card package XE. Skill inheritance card including beginner level experience, with selectable skill inheritance XE. Lottery chance XE. Hearing the voice in his mind, Shenanzai couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth. Here it comes. Here it comes. He's coming with the cheat.